Sprinkles Beach here.
Jake,
Yo,
your resident
buddy.
content cowboy
Okay,
here.
what's going on?
And here are 5 big mistakes that you could be making in Warcraft Rumble, all of which I made for a moment.
I
in
might
no
be making
particular order.
Okay.
Let's begin.
All right,
Actually, I would
see.
like to mention there are in kind of a particular order
Really?
because I wrote them down, and this one I think is the
Okay.
absolute
Okay,
most
okay.
important.
What's going on,
and you're
buddy?
probably going to hear this a lot
What's going
because
on?
it is the #1 pitfall for players
Did
in
I
Warcraft
do it?
Rumble,
Let's see.
and it is talents.
Talents
Inside the game
Oh,
are one
yes.
of the biggest
Oh,
decisions
my.
that you can make in Warcraft Rumble, but it does not seem like that from the outset. This is #1, the biggest mistake you can make with a unit. When you upgrade a unit from
listen
common
closely.
to uncommon,
Listen
I will show
closely.
you that right now.
Listen closely.
You have 3 copies of this Harpy right here.
Look, right
I
there,
use
right
some
there,
energy
right-
and those
right there.
3 stars to
Right there.
upgrade this. I will unlock a talent slot
Yes.
for my Harpies.
Use
Once
them.
you unlock that, there's
Use
a
them.
possibility that inside the grid, you will see a talent for these
Oh,
Harpies.
yeah.
You also gain a level with that unit. Right here, you can see there is a talent inside my grid right now
Yeah.
for the leader, Sylvanas Windrunner. This is the Black Arrow talent. Pierce through enemies in a line, dealing elemental damage.
Nice.
This is actually probably the talent I want to pick up for this hero, but I'm not so sure yet.
Probably.
Even though I've been playing a lot of Warcraft Rumble, I'm not buying
Take a look at this.
talent
Take a look.
right
Take a
away.
look. Take a look.
Because once you buy this, you are locked into that
Exactly,
talent
until you upgrade.
this unit
Exactly.
to the next rarity, which I have right here for my Blackrock
Exactly.
Pyromancer.
Let's move up
rare.
here.
And
Let's
that
move up
takes
here.
a while.
Yes,
you
it
will
does.
not see the other talents
Or a
cycle
lot of
through the grid
swiping.
at all. So if you get your Harpies upgraded, you have a choice between Infectious Swipes, Trinket Collectors,
Yeah,
or Talon
yeah.
Dive. And once you pick it, you're locked in.
You're stuck.
Like, you're locked in.
You're stuck.
For a while here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you could
I've
make
seen
some
it.
good calls, and you could make some bad calls. Please,
Why am I
new
moving
players,
around the screen?
don't grab talents right away.
Yeah,
Some of them
don't.
sound good and are not so good.
And
I've
they're
got some
not.
good ones on this squad right here, but I have units inside my minis here that I talk about, like my Worgen talent. I picked Lone Wolf. It is really not what you expect. I thought it was going to be this awesome situation where I would deploy Worgen often on the battlefield.
You get
and
one
I would,
gold.
you know,
One
reduce
gold,
its
that
gold
one
cost by
time.
1, but the radius of it is huge. Long-winded way of saying, be
It's
careful
garbage.
with your talents.
It's garbage.
Don't get them right away. Play a
So
good
that's a good
amount of the
point.
game before
That's
you
one of
start
5.
deciding on talents.
Let's go
Watch
to
some
the next
content
one.
creators, see which talents seem to actually work well.
Exactly.
You'll see them in some videos.
We're watching you
because
right now,
could
buddy.
Make some pretty big mistakes with
Watching
some of
you,
these.
buddy.
Like for instance, Flame Burst here for Whelp
You know
Eggs. When
what?
I looked at Whelp Eggs originally,
I can't see
I
this
wasn't
guy.
sure which one I was going to do. I thought Flame Burst sounded kind of cool. Chromatic Plating, I thought, okay, I could draw aggro from enemies. Rookery, you could have them all explode
Oh,
at
I can
once,
see
creating
now.
like a faster way to attack some of your opponents.
Okay.
All of these kind of sound good. However, Flame Burst is far and away the best, especially
Exactly.
when I saw
That's the one I
some
got.
other creators using it. I thought,
nice.
oh, absolutely. This is just like
when you look at the
OP,
other two, it
but
just
you wouldn't
doesn't
know
add
that
up.
just from reading them all.
You just gotta get
so
lucky.
I think it's really, really important. Biggest tip I can give you: just be conservative.
Study
with
all
your
3
talents.
and
Wait
pick
for
the
a little
one
bit. Wait until you can actually
based
see
on
it
your
and get
play
a
style.
good idea of how it's
Exactly.
going to work. Because some of these are good, some of them are kind of mid, and some are straight up.
For example,
bad.
you might get a
the
tank.
number 2 biggest mistake you can make is
Choose
not
the
doing
talent.
Arclight surges, not
Always
continuing
do
to push through the
Arclight.
PvE campaign,
Buddy,
and not
you're so
claiming,
right.
claiming
Let's
your
move
rewards every
again.
single day.
Let's
Claiming,
move
come
again.
on now, Jake.
Yeah,
You are
get them
going to have
Arclights
lots of
done.
ways to upgrade your units. A game like this, once you playing every single day, and there are things to come back for every day. You have these 3 rewards that you can get just by playing
Every
matches.
day.
You do quests, PvE, PvP.
Look at that
and you'll
last
be
one
able
is
to
gonna be
unlock these
unlocked.
tomes. Sometimes, like today, I have a leader
little
choice, which
upgrade
is
for a
really,
mini.
really cool.
Yeah, that's what I
Make
just did.
sure you're doing your quests. Make sure that you are completing this.
If you already
at
have all
least
the
just
minis
on a
unlocked,
daily
it would
basis.
just
Come on
upgrade
in
your mini.
and do your missions so you can clear this out. And when an Arclight surge is happening,
Do
that's
it.
when one of these areas here
Do
turns
it.
blue, and you'll be able to go in there and
You get
just
like a
complete
day
missions
to finish
essentially
that,
for
2
fun
days
that are
maybe.
lower than your level and get gold from it. The amount
5,000
of gold you
buddy.
can get from an Arclight surge is equivalent to spending like $5 inside the shop. So it's a very,
Free
very good
$5,
time
yo.
to hop on in there and do that. And
Do it.
while we're talking about it, let's talk about the third tip. I can get my fingers in there. Let's talk about the third tip. Sounded bad that I'm going to talk about right here. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is buying the wrong things in the shop.
Really?
This area right here,
Buy
daily
them all.
offers,
You don't have to worry.
stay far, far away from daily offers. You don't want to be spending your gold here. As I've talked about in a previous video, focus on spending it inside the grid. Now, this is a mistake you could make. Let's take a look at my Huntress right here.
Daily offer is cash, not gold.
With a talent that I like. Me buying more Huntresses to get it up to rare. All that's going to do, if I buy each one of them, I need 10 total. So that's 900 gold to get it up to a rarity. And then once I get that, it will get 1 level and I will have access to 1 other talent.
Okay.
You can only bring 1 talent into battle, by the way. So if I already
Every
like
time
my
it tears
talent,
up
I would
from
be
green to
spending
blue.
900 gold just to have it gain 1 level. Now, eventually, obviously, I want this. Huntress is great. I think this is an awesome unit. And eventually, I do want it to be rare just so I can get that, extra
So you go from white to green, green to blue, blue to purple.
But besides that,
every color change an extra.
A ton of resources to get this unit up to rare.
Resources,
so,
gold.
At the beginning of the game, try to get every single unit. It'll happen pretty fast if you're smart about how you're buying your troops. Try to get all your troops, all your spells, because it raises your collection level.
Oh yeah.
Then from there, you can go from common, this gray look right here, common, to uncommon right here, and that's when you will start getting talents. I would focus on units that you like moving from common to uncommon, but especially when going from uncommon to rare,
we got that
I would
Pyromancer
really be careful.
already unlocked.
Don't waste a ton of resources doing this. This is something that you're going to be doing later
Resources
in the
we
game.
need
You
swiping.
don't need to focus all of your energy
no
on a
swiping.
Huntress right now. Don't focus all your energy on a Huntress. Sounds like a life tip. This is a quick one for your events. Make sure that you are doing your dungeons with your units that you have for that week. So it's Alliance Week right now. Dress appropriately. Make sure that you are putting your units into this dungeon right here. Like I haven't done any for Maev. I haven't done enough for Jaina. Throw them in there. Get their upgrades. Once you get their army upgrades, your units just inside your decks right here
them
are
all
going to
to
get bonus
gold.
levels as long as they are at, correctly put
gold.
onto the right thing. Like, look at this right here. For Maev, I actually need to switch this right here. These skeletons are unbound, but these whelp eggs are not a tank unit with these little hearts right here. So I need to put a tank unit on the spot to get a bonus level. Do your dungeons. You're not punished at all.
You're getting
if you
plus
fail
3.
them. So please make sure that you are doing your dungeons.
You do it too, buddy.
The next 2 tips are going to be about gameplay right here. I've talked a lot about some of the outside of gameplay things, which I think is extremely important because that's where you're going to make your biggest mistakes. But inside the game, I think it's really important to start understanding how aggro works and how you can set yourself up for success.
Okay, tell us about it.
A basic concept, right? You put a tank out, and then behind your tank,
DPS,
you have a range unit. This is super simple, but what this is going to do is any unit that attacks that
tank has no taunt.
Another unit, as long as it's able to hit it, so it's not a ground unit that can only hit ground, will aggro the first thing right next to it.
But it's not aggro
so
there.
if I set this Huntress down right here, all of these units will walk straight into Huntress and start to attack. Same thing with this Huntress right here.
That's a good tip.
If I see that this Huntress is going to hit my units right here, I can drop a unit, an unbound unit like a Quillbore,
she tore the
before the
Pyromancer
Huntress
up.
is able to kind of acquire that aggro, and then I am able to redirect where that unit's going to attack. Let's take a look at it right here as we're going to
throw your Dark Iron Miner down there. Look at all that ore.
And I'll show it right here with a Quillbore. So this Drake's going to attack these Harpies. I use this Quillbore. It redirects the Drake's attention, this unbound unit, and now these Harpies who are going to get roasted by that Drake right there walk right through because I put something in their face they wanted to attack
Good
first.
idea, bro.
This is just the basic concept of
having
why people
taunt
put
on your
the
tanks
tank
help
out,
here,
and then the tank soaks up all the damage.
That's one of the extra
you can do this with
talents you
unbound
can
units too. It's one of the coolest things inside this game is just dropping an unbound unit into a situation where you're able to redirect the aggro of the enemies. Now let's take a look at this tower right here. If I were to throw a unit down before they get to the tower, they would start attacking the unit if it was closer to them. But if I put a unit afterwards, they're attacking the tower, my unit's attacking them. There are times you're going to want to
You
put
don't
something in
wanna
front of the
tank with your
tower to make sure that
towers.
you soak up damage. There are other times where if you throw a unit down, they're just going to knock it out really quick. So you want to make sure that you can put
Don't
your unit
tank
down
with your
after
tower.
the tower has kind of already acquired that
Don't
aggro.
tank with
The next thing I
your...
want to talk to you about is making a positive
Okay,
gold
this is number
trade.
5, guys.
So there are a lot of
Number 5.
situations where you can throw down, you know, a blizzard right here, and you say like, ah, I'm hitting that meat wagon and I'm hitting the boss right there. And
Okay.
of course, in PvE, there are some situations where maybe that's okay. But a lot of the time in Warcraft Rumble, you want to spend your energy on making positive gold trades. So you want to make sure that whatever you are expending is dealing with more than it costs. If I
Okay,
were to drop
explain
this
that.
Huntress down right here, and these spiderlings were set up in a situation to knock this Huntress out, right? That would be an amazing gold trade for my opponents. Same thing if I'm able to pay a 1-cost spell and KO something that is, you know, worth a lot more. That's an amazing gold trade, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want
yeah.
to be thinking about it in terms like
That
that.
makes
If
sense,
I can
guys.
play Blizzard for 4 gold and I can, you know, take out enemies on the opposing team
Excellent.
that cost them 10 or 11 gold to send my way, those are huge positive trades.
Oh, yeah.
The same way the other way, if I use a Blizzard to take out a 2-cost unit like a Quillbore, well, then I'm wasting a lot of money right there. So it's really, really important to
that
notice
mini-
gold
Click
trades
your
like
upgrades.
that.
Why don't you
Thinking about
click
the
'em,
game
bro?
in this sort of
OCD is
economistic way,
calling,
there's no
bro.
way that word works there, I think is
Click
the
those.
best way
Claim
to
rewards.
think about how to deal with things. For instance, if you look at a unit like whelp eggs or harpies, let's take a look at harpies right here.
Okay, let's
Harpies
see.
are a 3-cost unit. They're aerial, they do a ton of damage. You can even see what I was about to explain here, right in that little screen.
You know
They
what?
are taking
Go
out
ahead.
an
Hit
abomination
subscribe,
because
people. Hit
abomination
subscribe.
can't
This is
hit
some good
air
stuff.
units. They're
Hit it.
taking out a 6-cost unit for 3 costs. You want to be constantly thinking about gold trades in this and how you can best keep a gold advantage over your opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, I want to talk to you briefly about chests and miners
already-
inside of PvP
This
and
is
PvE.
6.
You want to
Are
take
we on
advantage
6?
of a gold increase anytime you can.
Yeah.
Units like Quillbore or Safe Pilot
Oh,
can land
Quillbore.
on
Yeah, I use
gold
the pilot.
resources
Yeah.
just like that
Yeah.
and take a huge advantage away from your opponents.
That's nice.
Also, your opponents are going to play their miners. If you play Chain Lightning on a miner unit,
Okay.
it will take that unit out. Yes, you are paying 2 gold to take down a miner,
But it can
if that
collect so
miner
much more.
would have mined
Yeah.
3 gold, you
Yep.
are in a massive advantage right there.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping control of the economy inside of Warcraft Rumble is
Spraggles
extremely important.
B-tier.
Like I always say, look
With
at it
the
from an
big-time
economist point of view, and you will start doing better inside of your games. Focus on controlling the gold, and then you will easily be able to set up pushes. Again, you
Nice.
can use a safe pilot.
Those are
and
all
boom,
excellent,
Land
but
right
I see some
on a
ore
chest and take
needing
it away
mining
from
right
your
now,
opponents.
bro.
It's pretty important to notice these things, and if they're already starved for gold, you can keep hitting them with something like Chain Lightning
Nice.
and take out their miners. It's just going to set them up into a situation where they're always going to be behind, and that's going to
That's a
put you in a
good idea.
situation where you're always ahead. I mean, the math checks out, people.
Oh,
If they're
yeah.
always behind, you're always ahead. Oh, I forgot one important
Oh,
thing.
my God, we're on
Guilds.
7.
Join a guild. I just
Oh,
started a new
yeah,
one for
definitely.
members of this channel.
Definitely.
The B tier. Still got the B tier. And if we have a ton of excitement for this, you can hop in my Discord. We could have multiple guilds for people
Bro,
who watch
I'm
my
gone
channel.
there. So, thanks once again.
Uh,
Thanks, Spraggles B-tier, Savadious, giving you the reaction to his 5 that turned out to be 6 tips, that turned out to be 7 tips, but these are some great things. Go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll be bringing you more, people. See ya.